All right, we're talking about sound design for feature films, and one of the things that we've got to talk about in order to keep those of you who might want to try this at home from having too much of a problem down the road when you're integrating with other people who are doing different roles in the film. You want to keep your files organized. You can have so many of them. If you add up all of the little sound clips, all of the little footsteps and everything, you could easily have over maybe 15,000 of these files all someplace. You want to have them so you can find them when you need them, and you're going to want to be able to have them organized so that when you give these to somebody else, they don't look at it with their hands in the air and just go, I have no idea what I've just been given. It's a complete mess. So I've got a little template that I suggest that I'm going to show, that I made especially for this video. But let me give you a little brief overview of the kinds of files that you need to give. You've got the master file, the stereo finished file that will be the movie. Everything combined together, the volumes are all correct, it's been polished, it sounds great. That's what we're going to call the master. But there's a thing called a stem. A stem is going to be an isolated portion, let's say the dialogue, that is one file from the beginning of the movie to the end, that is just that dialogue track, but it has all the work that you've put into it. All of the volume changes are represented in this file, so you can listen to it and it's ready to mix in. Maybe any dialogue that wasn't captured well on set that needed to be redone in the studio will all be on a separate file. Sound effects, the broad sound effects may be on one file, so on. You could have 12 of these files, these stems, all in a certain folder. So we're going to go over to the screen and show you an example of some good organization for this. All right, well, we'll see here. I've got my desktop. I'm working on a Mac like many filmmakers are going to be working. And this film sound demo is the folder I've put it in. Click that open. You're going to see here that I put a little README file in here. We're going to open this up and drag it in. This is going to go back to what we talked about earlier. This is notes to make sure that who I'm passing this to understands what they're looking at. These are some specifications. I talked about 48 kilohertz sound before. This is telling them that's how I've got it set up. This is a different number that's important that you're going to want to keep track of if you're doing this. They're going to make sure that this lines up so their settings match mine. This says that I'm going to be giving them in this WAV format, which is a PC format. I've set this up with the assumption that the person I'm going to give it to is on a PC. That's why I set this up. And this just lists everything I'm giving them and all the formats so that nobody ends up getting confused. I'm going to close that. Here we've got all the finished files, and I've got them in separate folders and separate reels. And you can see as I expand these things over, once I give this to the person who is going to be working with these files, there should be no confusion over what they are and what they're supposed to do with them.